Thank you very much, guys. Fairly clear-cut win. I think NaJin Shield coming out, got control of the game. They got Zed first pick. I really don't know if any team should be giving that up, especially not if your counter is Ahri. It didn't really work out. Probably, what do you think of that?
I think, honestly, that Zed pick was almost a troll for the rest of the tournament. I don't think that's a Goong champion. He seemed really kind of shaky on it. He even started Doran Shield, which in the matchup Zed versus Ahri, you don't want to start Doran Shield. You can actually get an advantage after you survive level 1 and level 2 with Zed and start poking them out. So taking like longsword 3 pots actually accentuates that kind of like lead that you need to get to.
Something that was highlight worthy though was like them picking away Kale from Save, because that was by far like his best champion, like most amount of wins. I think he's like, we looked up the stats, he's 4-1 on it. He has like nearly a 12 KDA almost. So you either need to ban Kale away from him or probably just pick it away from him. But then again, why if you pick Kale away and you've never played it in like your career, he will know that matchup in and out. Like he'll just get pushed when he has to. The jungler is ready for counter ganks. And I feel like KaBuM missed on an opportunity to dive the Ryze in top lane as well.
It's actually kind of funny. The NaJin White Shield that played in regionals did a Kale Ahri comp. And KaBuM does Kale Ahri versus them. So I think they, in a way, copied the comp, but noticed, hey, Kale works pretty well with Ahri. Hey, we can pick Ahri into Zed. And they kind of just went off of that.
I think the problem that I had that game was a miscommunication with KaBuM in the sense that they really dipped their chip in top lane and put Elise trying to counter gank Kha'Zix nonstop. They had wards and she just sat in lane waiting and waiting and waiting for Kha'Zix to come up. But at the same time, you had Ahri push in Zed and not harass him in mid lane. She'd back off, expecting Kha'Zix to go middle as well. So you're expecting him to go top and counter gank it, but you're not pressuring mid because you're also expecting him to go middle. Like, this guy's human, too. He can't literally gank top and mid at the same time.
It felt like NaJin Shield just had a better idea of how to run the comp. They played out the map particularly well. I want to go back to the laning phase because I felt if you looked at Gorilla's Thresh and you contrasted it to Moore's Thresh in the first 5 to 10 minutes, it is day and night. Let's pull a replay up. And Crepo, I want you and Doublelift to talk me through some of the plays and just how they asserted their lane dominance.
So yeah, like I wanted to really highlight how White Shield win. You can roll the clip already right now. So what you see is like blue side is leashing and red side is not. So like KaBuM is not leashing while White Shield is. That means by default, by bot lane logic, if both are ranged AD carry and ranged support, KaBuM should win this. They don't though. Like they lose the push. Look at these creeps. Q misses. Shield is too late. Foster's bombs comes in, hits Janna, 2 autos. Bomb hits like 2 creeps or 3 creeps. Flay hits creeps and a champion as well.
And you never want to play defensive with Janna. The biggest problem I see is they're using shield and they're just using it to absorb damage. That's so wrong.
Double flay. Auto, phosphorus bomb. They're just pushed back. If Gorilla ignites here, that's flash blown, but they don't really care because we're flashing forward right now in time and this is the first blood.
Yep, they never even got to use the shield's AD. This entire laning phase, they never got to use any attack damage from Janna's shield. And right here, it's just like really awful reaction time to that hook. He could have totally flashed it and actually won the trade, but in the end, they just gave up first blood.
And the biggest highlight is in any bot lane, it's going to be a race to level 2. And if you're leashing, you should lose that race. What KaBuM should have done is either weakened the range creeps or landed better Lucian Qs with the AD bonus from the shield, initiated their trade, but they were the second one to react, and at the same time the Flays hit 2 creeps and a champion, the Phosphorus bombs hit 3 creeps and a champion and 2 autos, and then they just rolled over and died.
Final thoughts?
I will say that if Shield continues to play Thresh Corki, which I would rate as like a 6 out of 10 lane when there's very easily available 8 or 9 out of 10 lanes, they're probably going to have a hard time bottom lane against Alliance and Cloud9.
I don't think that's a bad lane at all.
Really? I think their Corki is terrible.
I think it makes sense in the team comp, too.
It doesn't scale. It's not a good lane. You should lose to every Lucian and every Triss lane.
It's a good answer to a Lucian, in my opinion. It's the only early game like AD carry that can trade like Corki Q is compared to Lucian Q. Those trades are pretty good. Short trade with Thresh Lucian.
I think Lucian craps on Corki. It's not even a close matchup.
You don't need scaling when you have Zed, Ryze, and a Kha'Zix in your team. You just need a mid-game power
But if your bottom lane's going to be super far behind, what's the point of picking that lane?
Yeah.
You will be.
I
guarantee you Sneaky and Tabs will cross that lane with Lucian.
I'm going to jump in here and I'm going to talk to our stat guys and see if we can find the win-loss ratios. We haven't seen much Corki, but we'll see if we can pull out some numbers and maybe we can add some stats to this little difference that we're having on the analyst desk. Guys, we do have to take a short break, and when we come back, it's another chapter in the Korea versus China rivalry. The Samsung Blue faces OMG.
No, okay, here goes dive.
Oh, dive on the tower. Goong, is he going to have enough? That's the question. And they're going to clean up 2 towers on this one. The hook on left, followed through. Gorilla goes in. Intervention. Is it going to be enough to save the day? I don't think it is. Intervention not available quick enough there. The rest of KaBuM caught out. In they go. The inhib will surely follow. In the mid lane, Save is pushing up with the super minions. That's the hook that counts.